Salutations, my name is Summer and this is Sterling Reads, and I thought I'd do a little catch up with you and talk to you about the books that I've read and maybe what's going on in my life. And you can see Elsie's butt right there. She's in the kitchen. So I thought I'd do it while I work on my blanket. All the books that I discuss, and I'm sure there's some that I'll forget, I'll write in the description down below with their author. So that way, if you're interested in it, you can check it out. Let's see. I'm trying to remember the last time I talked to you guys about what I've been reading. I was talking to a fellow booktuber this morning, and it's so sad that I usually read over 100 books a year, and I've read, I think I told him like 47. And I will finish one or two more books this year, but I don't think I'm going to hit 50, which is crazy to me. How many books do you guys read in a year, or do you even keep track? There's something in me that makes me have to keep track, but I think that's because I have a book journal, and I do like to go back and see what books I read and if I still remember them, and think back on what I was doing when I was reading them, how much I enjoyed it or didn't. And that helps me later on with the series that I'm reading or authors that I'm wanting. It reminds me like, oh yeah, I really like this author. I would like to check them back out. So I know I finished Hild by Nicola Griffith. It is, I guess it's a duology, I'm not really sure. I really like the end. I like the whole book. I was very surprised about the ending. It's, and I've talked about Hild the last time or the time before in my video, but the ending was very surprising because something that she said could never happen, and I truly believed could never happen, happened. And she really wanted it to happen, but she believed that it couldn't. So, and it ends where there's a second book and you're going to continue on with Hild's life now that this big thing has happened. So I'm looking forward to it. I plan to read it. I don't know if it'll happen this next year because I have big plans this next year, and 3 of the months I doubt if I do much reading besides researching about something. And I'll let you guys know about that when it's already in the works for like safety reasons and stuff. But yeah, I have some exciting things happening and planned for next year. This year, in 2024, my plans were to pay off all my debt. And even though I didn't accomplish that, I still have some debt. My debt is so low now that it's fine. It's manageable. But 2025, I want it to be a year of learning. I want to know how to be more self-sufficient. I want to learn about growing and canning, and I already do a lot of different things with making things at home and having more of natural cleaners and natural products I use on my body. But I can always do better, and there's always more things that I want to learn how to do. So that's the goal. Work is insane, and it has been since March. But I'm just trying to take each day as it comes and to remind myself that what I do is rewarding. I don't know how long I'll be able to do it, but I'm doing it right now. And right now is really all we have, right? I haven't had much time to work on any of my hobbies, and reading is another thing I haven't had much time to work on or enjoy. But I did finish Hild. Oh gosh, I have the stack of books I was going to talk about upstairs. That's why I'm not remembering what I have finished reading, uh, which is, I'll just have to, set them aside and talk about them later. But what I am reading right now, I picked up A Prayer for Owen Meany again, and that's such of a wonderful book about two boys and their relationship as they're growing up. And right now, he's finally going back and forth between his adult life and thinking back as when he was a kid, where it starts out as their kids. We know that he's going to settle in with that adult life, and we're going to hear more about what's going on with him and his friend. And I worry constantly that his friend is going to die, and I do not know why. This is a movie, I want to say called Simon Birch or something like that, but I've never watched it. But I just keep thinking that his friend is going to die. So he might not. I do not know. But the book is great. I don't know. I didn't think I would be a John Irving fan because I read something about the door and the floor, or it was the strangest. I think I DNF'd it. I think there was something else that I read of his that I thought was okay. So I didn't expect to love this as much as I have been. Anyway, I'm continuing on with that on my Kindle. I am in a group read right now that I'm really enjoying, and it is The Hunchback of Notre Dame by, oh gosh, I wanted to say Leah Tolstoy, and it's not. It's Victor Hugo. My brain. Anyway, I'm loving that. Les Mis has to be one of my favorite books. I've only read it once, so and it was a couple years ago now that I read it, so I don't know. I definitely am due for a reread. I hear that there are booktubers going to be rereading it next year. I think they're going to be reading different translations, but I plan to reread the Catherine Donahue. I can't remember her last name, but that translation that I read was wonderful, and I plan to reread that one, and then later on in a couple of years read a different translation. That's the plan, at least. I started reading another book that I guess there are a couple of different authors that have the title of this novel, but it's called Force of Nature. It is not the Jane Harper, even though I did read that a couple years back, and it is about hiking, but this is written by a woman, and I don't know if it's written by the group of women because it's nonfiction. It's the story of a woman who walks the John Muir Trail, Muir, is that right? With two of her friends, and they are all in their early 50s, I think. They might be late 40s, early 50s, which that book attracted me because I love hiking, which I have not been doing. And I love that, I'm 45 going on 46, and I love when I hear about women my age doing inspiring things. I'm really enjoying it. I'm just in the beginning right now, and they are in the middle of a lightning storm, and she's thinking about all the things that's on her pack and on her body, like even the zipper on her rain jacket that is metal. And I thought, ooh, that's important to know, and what to do in a lightning storm when you're out on a mountain. That is wonderful so far. What else am I reading? Those three. Oh, okay. So at my work, there is a popular author, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher how to pronounce it, but it's the book is called The Coldest Winter Ever, and the main character's name is Winter, and the author is Sister Souljah. It's the first novel I've ever read by her. And in the very beginning of it, there is a poem by her about how true love or real love doesn't exist anymore. And she talks about the love between families. And to me, it feels like the love you feel when you're a child, or the first love that you have with somebody before you have had your heart broken or been betrayed or lied to, and everything fell apart. That type of trust and love, which you can get back and have with people. It just takes longer, I think, than after you've had that done. But it's very entertaining. I'm not too far along in it. I just started that one maybe 2 nights ago. But I also enjoy reading books that the boys are reading, because it's just another way I can engage with them. And also, to hear that they like to read makes me very happy. I do have a coworker who seems to want to ban some books out there and censor the boys. But when I say boys, I mean they're boys to me because I'm in my 40s. But they're 13 to, at 21, they have to leave. So they're at this awkward age for them where I feel like I don't think there's much harm in having them read anything. I was not censored as a kid. I was able to read whatever I wanted to read. There was no question about, I could read anything. I could go on my mom's bookshelves anywhere in the library and pick out any book, and my mom was not going to tell me I couldn't read it, or my grandma, or my dad. I just had that freedom to be able to pick up anything I wanted to and take in. And the honest truth is, when you're that young and you're reading adult books, sometimes you don't get what the adults are so afraid that you're going to pick up. I mean, other times you do, but you see it differently because you're younger and you haven't been through all the experiences that these adults that are so worried about what you're going to be learning from it. I don't know. That's just my point of view. I don't like censoring. But I don't have kids. So that might be another reason why I'm so open-minded about, hey, read this. You're interested in it. You're learning. You're at the right age to be curious about all this stuff. Go ahead. Read whatever you want. So hopefully that coworker doesn't get what she wants, and the boys can continue to read these fun, entertaining books. And I will fight for this if I have to, because I actually have read the books that she's upset about. And I understand if she doesn't want her kids to read them, but our boys have done, seen, been through experiences that hopefully a lot of us never will. So I'm not going to judge what they find entertainment in their reading material. And honestly, it's not even bad or a big deal. I'm going to stop talking about it. So anyway, I'm reading that. And right now, I feel like I'm good. I don't know what I'm going to finish. Hopefully I finish The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I ordered the physical book. I'm reading it on my Kindle right now, but I have ordered the physical book. And I was very excited. I was gifted a gift card from Amazon. So thank you so much, Nathan, if you're watching. Yeah, it's what I've been deciding about what to buy. I did read a book, and I have it over here. So hold on one second. I will grab it so I can show it to you. Oh, and the whole reading challenge. You guys know how I was doing that read my own challenge? Yeah, I broke that quite early because I listened to this. I started to listen to this, and then I started to read the ebook from the library. And then I was like, I have to own this book because it is one that I feel like I will read again and again and again. This is this man's, Viktor E. Frankl, his experience in a concentration camp. And it reminds me about how we are all human and we all have good and bad. And I was crying like very early on in this book. It just hit me in so many different ways. But it's beautiful. I feel like he's constantly reminding us that there's good, even in horrible times and going through horrible experiences, that there's still good. Beautiful, beautiful book. Man's Search for Meaning. So yeah. I know there's a couple more books that I finished upstairs, but I'm not gonna run up there. So, and all I'm doing right now is working, trying to work on my blanket, which is slowly coming along. I actually finished my CDCA. I sent it in. I haven't heard back. Hopefully everything is correct, so that way I can have that coming to me. I'm going to be switching to 12-hour days, which hopefully that means that I have more time off to spend with loved ones and my John and hiking and my cats, because I haven't had any time to do anything, I don't feel like, besides try to sleep and work. And that is not the way to live life. That whole too much work makes Jack a dull boy or something like that. It is very true. We definitely need work-life balance, especially these days. So anyway, I'm so curious about what everybody's been reading. How have you been doing? It's been, I think, over a month since I've posted. It's crazy to think that in some areas that people live, it's so hot. I don't know, I kind of feel like we have had our first snow, but I can't really count it as a first snow yet because it hasn't settled in, if that makes any sense. So it has snowed, but it hasn't really snowed yet in my mind, but it is cold. And then we had a couple warm days, and I think we're going to have another warm day in the 50s. But anyway, the snow is beautiful. I prefer not to drive in it, but it's wintertime. So what do we expect in this area? So let me know how you're doing, what you've been reading, what you've been working on. I hope you're all doing well. I've missed being on here. And yeah, hopefully I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.